Hey y'all, welcome to the Olympia broadcast. That's right, it is the middle of week 2. We have already finished game 1 of season 2 against the ranked Arizona Wildcats, and not only did we play them well, we beat them handily, I might add. And we look to go into week 2 against yet another ranked opponent on the road, this time Iowa City against the Iowa Hawkeyes. So my takeaways from game 1, obviously, we played really well. There were mistakes. The freshmen made mistakes. They threw picks, both our freshman quarterbacks. That's right, we ran a dual freshman quarterback system and beat a ranked team on the road. Both of them threw picks. Unsurprisingly, they seemed a bit rattled at times. But overall, man, those freshmen, they maintained their composure. They did what they needed to do. They showed some potential, and I'm frankly incredibly impressed with this whole team. The defense was horrible at times, and at other times they were locked in, like they were 3 and out, you're off the field type of defense. The offense at times was horrible. I mean, they were just, you'd see Atari in the end zone and he threw a pick across the middle of the field. I was like, oh no. But I mean, other times he was throwing these darts, just absolute darts around linebackers to our tight ends, and one of our tight ends runs like a wide receiver, by the way. The guy is a monster named Zeke Roberts. Catch him out. Kosi Mensah, have you ever seen a fullback in college score? I mean, have you ever seen a fullback look like he's a wide receiver, a running back, and a tight end all in one? The guy was a monster. He could not be stopped. He's a mismatch. As for the rest of the team, I'm pretty impressed, and I really can't wait to see if we can actually transition this success into not only, maybe a close game against Iowa, maybe even another upset, or even, another rest of our out of conference schedule. When we get back into conference play, is this something that we're actually going to be able to consistently see from this team, or is it going to be more of the same from last year where we play close games and lose? Because at this point, now that we've won this game, what this does is mean we can't be comfortable with just a bunch of close losses anymore. The improvement's already been seen in victory. We have to keep winning games. I mean, now, do I think we're going to be bowl eligible in year 2? Maybe not. I mean, it's still a tough task to get to 6 games for a team like this, still so fresh and new, especially with all the freshmen starting. But do I think we could easily win 4 or 5 games? Yes, I do. Do I think those could come against teams that are fairly decent? Yeah, actually, I do. The Mountain West doesn't boast a ton of great teams, none that I would say are necessarily all that much better than Arizona, and we just beat Arizona. Not to discredit any of the teams in the Mountain West, it's actually a very tough conference. And of course I'm going to say that since we're in the Mountain West. But I think this year is more about really getting freshmen ready to take that next step and getting recruits in to fill the positions that we need, because we are really thin at positions, and we're going to be even more thin next year. So honestly, if we can even scrape by with 6 games and not even make a bowl game, we'd be talking miracles in Park City, Utah. I mean, this is ridiculous that a team like this could even come this far so early on. And we'll see if this success is sustainable. Man, I can't really talk right now. I'm still so hyped up over the win. So we actually got an interview in with Coach Chris Brad. He's the offensive coordinator for Olympia. I think he deserves some great credit after year 1. Some games where we were putting up at least like 50 points. I mean, we were just all over the scoreboard. And in game 2, he really came to play. He brought it, had a game plan, ran a dual quarterback system. It all worked. So we're going to get him on the horn. I've got an interview. Let's go ahead and roll it. How would you say your offensive game plan played out against Arizona, especially the dual quarterback system?
For our first game out, I couldn't have been more better. Played a traditional pocket pass, came out on us, really established the tempo and pace that we wanted to set. We came back with Atari in a couple drives later, and he really threw the defense for a loop. His ability to run the ball, get outside of the pocket, so able to make it. So great performance in the first game. A couple turnovers are the only drawback. If we can take care of that, I think we're going to be in good shape for the rest of the year with those 2 guys.
Who really stood out to you from your offense?
Well, I hate to be obvious, but I'd have to go with Zeke Roberts again. It's just a minute from him, over 200 yards received. And his ability to catch after catch is just immense. We felt like we could go to him in crunch time. So from now on, line, it's got a good job of providing us with the protection that we needed. But if you had to single one guy out, I'd have to go with Zeke. Just a tremendous stuff from him. Somebody we're going to rely on from here on out.
You just beat a ranked opponent on the road, and you're already on the road to Iowa City to face another one. What can we expect to see from Olympia's game plan to deal with that very highly touted Iowa defensive line? And what can we see that might disrupt that?
Well, that's a good question. We go from difficult to even more difficult from Arizona to Iowa. So hopefully we can get outside of the pocket a little bit with Atari. I think that's going to be big to elude that pass rush. It's going to be difficult for us to just sit back and try to pass in the pocket. So try to get on the edge, maybe with the running game, and then also pass them with Atari. But again, our offensive will step up. There's no way around it. Challenge once again on the road in Iowa City. So we're going to have to bring it. There's not going to be any trickery. We're just going to have to step up and make plays. And we've proven we can do it. So that's the bottom line. We know what we're capable of, but we just have to back it up 2 weeks in a row, go on the road, and knock off another giant.
So that's all we had from Coach Chris Brad this time. I was planning to get some quotes from Coach Eric Cook and one of the quarterbacks, Tyler Hunt. But Tyler was busy with his high school, now college girlfriend. They were hanging out after the game. Apparently, she goes to Utah State, so gonna be a bit interesting. We'll see if Tyler actually puts in, 100% of his effort against Utah State. He will. I'm just joking, but yeah. So they were unavailable this week. Hopefully for our next big win, we can go ahead and get them in, or maybe even a loss. It doesn't hurt to sometimes have the other side of the perspective, like you didn't do well in this game. What can we see that will be an improvement for next game? So hopefully we can get them. As for now, I'm going to go ahead and look forward to Iowa. And let's go ahead and click on over here and show the Iowa depth chart that they released on their website. As for my thoughts on this upcoming game against Iowa, I look at their depth chart from the start of the season, and from what I'm seeing in the tape and my own scouting, I'm not so convinced that we can't beat them as well. Their running back is pretty good. Their quarterbacks are all very raw, very undeveloped so far. Their offensive line so they have 2 professional prospects at tackle. And outside of that, they're weak up the middle. And then defensively, it's their defensive line that's so good. And the rest of their team is all just very mediocre. I really think we can actually win this. So tune in for Saturday, and hopefully we'll be able to take on Iowa in Iowa City and actually beat them. Thanks for watching, y'all. Have a great day.